Hi there. Today I'm going to show you how to make a lovely little button picture, and this could be really nice for a child's bedroom. So many different possibilities of what you could create. As you can see, it's a mixture of acrylic painting with buttons glued on afterwards. So I'm not going to do the hot air balloon this time. I'm going to do a butterfly, and first of all I'm going to show you how to do this kind of misty background with acrylic paints. So you want your acrylic paints, choose your selection. I'm going to use turquoise and a little bit of green, but really runny. And I'm also going to use a little bit of the purple, the light, sorry, not purple, the sort of light lilac. Use lots of water and mix the water in on the palette, so you've got some really runny paints to work with. And then for painting the background, you can start anywhere on the canvas and make kind of round, cloudy effects with your brush. You need a biggish, softish brush for doing this. You don't want a flat brush, you don't want a skinny brush. You want something that you can move round and round in circles, because you're only just doing a light colour. You can see the different effects of the colours. Very, very simple to do. If you want to, you can drop a bit of colour into an area. If you feel like you want to add a bit of colour somewhere, just allow it to spread out a little. When you're happy with the mix of colours on the canvas, just work along the outside as well. Nearly done. Now, that's it for the background. Let that dry, or use a hairdryer to dry it off, and then we can create the butterfly. Okay, so the next stage of the project is to create your background image, and this time I'm going to do a butterfly. So I'm using the canvas in landscape position, and I've got a piece of paper just a little bit smaller than the actual size of the canvas and folded it in half. And then on this side, as you can see, I've started to sketch out a butterfly, half of a butterfly. So you want a larger wing at the top, smaller wing at the bottom, a little bit for the head and a little bit for the tail. And then I'm going to cut it out. And the reason I'm doing it this way rather than drawing directly onto the canvas is this is a way of getting your butterfly really symmetrical. You could just sketch it directly on if you wish. I'm just showing you this way because a lot of people do find it quite difficult to get the butterfly symmetrical. When you open it out, you have a perfect butterfly. So I'm going to just lay it down on the canvas like that, put it into position and sketch lightly around the outside. Okay. I'm also going to put in a little bit of detail, so imagine there might be a large button here. I'm just going to draw a circle so I know kind of whereabouts it might be. And then I'm going to put in the shape of the body, and I'm going to put in a couple of little shapes like that. Keep it simple. And I'm going to paint in the background. So using a nice slim brush, usually the top wings and the bottom wings will be a slightly different colour. So I'm going to go with pink for the top wing. Now, earlier on we were using the acrylic paint, very, very runny, lots and lots of water added. Now we're using just a little bit of water to keep the paint moving, but you want it to be thick enough to cover over the background colour. Now you might find that you want to do a second coat. So rather than trying to make it really thick the first time round, a really solid colour, try painting a kind of an undercoat to begin with, and then doing a more solid colour on top if you want to get the paint a little bit thicker. It'll look better than trying to do it all in one go. Okay, so I'm going to dry that with a blow dryer, and then I'm going to fill in the details. Okay, so I'm just going to now complete the painting of the butterfly by choosing some colours for the details in the wings. Totally up to you what colours you choose. Might be worth looking at the colours of the buttons that you have and seeing if you can coordinate. But even if you don't coordinate with the button colours, it'll still look beautiful, because contrasting colours can look just as interesting. So we have the colours for the background, and now I'm going to leave that dry, and then we can stick the buttons down. Okay, before we go any further with the buttons, I forgot to mention it's nice to outline your painting with a gold outliner or with a gold marker, or with a black marker. That can look good as well. Just gives it a little bit more definition. I think I've shown you these before, these outliner pens. I'm going to be using a gold one, so just give it a nice finish. Okay. I'm going to blow dry that and then we'll apply the buttons. So the final stage is to add your buttons. So you can see on this one I've chosen colours that go with the background colours. On the butterfly, I think you've got a little bit more leeway. You can go with different colours. So I've got a whole selection of coloured buttons. Before you glue anything down, maybe try a few things in place before you actually glue, because that way I think that you'll be happy with the overall finished piece. So I'm just putting down a few things that I think might look good. You can see that the colours are not matching completely, but they look nice anyway as a group of buttons. Something for the head. Body. Like I said, try a few things in place before you actually glue anything down. Here you can see I'm using different sizes, so going from the larger to the smaller ones, which I think looks nice. And you might think, oh, I've overdone it there, I'll take one off. So I'll take those off. Another little bit of pink maybe there. I think that looks pretty good. You don't want to overdo it either, you know. A little bit of pink in there. No. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. So using the strong glue, take your buttons and just lift them up and add a little bit of glue on it on the reverse side, a good blob of it, and drop it down in place and slowly work your way around all the buttons. I think this kind of glue is probably the right glue for this particular job. You could use PVA glue as well, but something like the glue sticks that we've used before wouldn't be strong enough. These button bags, mixed button bags, are very reasonable actually, and you get a lot of buttons. You might spend a tenner on a big bag of them, but with plenty of selection in one button bag. Good. I think that's everybody glued down. And the final thing is to draw in the antennae of the butterfly. There we go. So you can also use those little jewels that you can buy glittery jewels, that could be really nice. Or even to use something like an outliner to do a couple of little dots if you wanted to add some more detail. There we go. Enjoy making them.